Hello everybody, welcome back. Good morning. Let's get stuck straight in then. So we've had a nice pump overnight for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and pretty much everything really. Obviously XRP's already done its thing. Let's start with traditional markets, taking ourselves to the S&P 500 futures market as we're pushing this 50 exponential moving average around about 5,330. So the 4 hourlies are what counts really for me today. And even if we do get breakouts and continuation for the S&P, which we might see ourselves push all the way up to 5,430, maybe even a little more. That's where a rejection is likely to take place. And it doesn't mean we're going to come back down to brand new lows or anything like that. It just means a rejection. It's been a decent rally, let's face it. It's been pretty sweet. Even on the S&P, if we measure from the wick, that measured wick. Oh, why is my laptop not doing it for what it wants to do? Come on. You can do it. You can do it. So annoying. Can't wait to get back home. So it's been a nice bounce of just short of 5%, so 4.63%. That's all right, over a couple of days, for the S&P. But obviously, Bitcoin and Ethereum have done a lot more than that. This is Ethereum bouncing from the 2,100 zone, and now we're pushing that 50 exponential moving average on the 4 hourly. So this is all part of a death cross, right? So this is a death cross retest. And if we do have an extension on that, you move up to 3,071, maybe even a little higher. But look, these are all downtrending, so resistances will get lower with every 4 hourly closure. Now here we go. This is the real meat of the matter. So this is what we've been saying since the dump, and when I was talking about the V-shaped recovery. So I said, look, the first area of resistance is going to be around here. We got a resistance. We pulled back, and this is where we were. Sort of like dancing around the $55,000 zone, and got picked back up again. Broke through the 50 exponential, and now we hit the 200 simple and exponential. So that is the top of a death cross. So a short, like the ultimate short, this is what we were saying, all the way from here, all the way up to here, the ultimate short would take place around here, and it wouldn't take long to know if you were wrong. So tight stop losses. That's why if you were to take this short here, tight stop loss. If you were to take that short, tight stop loss. If you take that short, tight stop loss. Now, I'm not short in the market. Oh my God. I'm short a bull market. That's crazy. Some people want to do it. I'm not going to do it. I took some longs and some nice longs, a few 100% in profit from the bounce. That's fine. I'm not going to sit around trying to short every tiny resistance, even though the likelihood of a rejection around here is more likely. Remember, I am in some form of a holiday over here, so I'm certainly not going to be over trading or hardly trading at all. It was an opportunistic trade. This, as much as it offers some pullback, the supports are only going to be down here, so we could be talking supports 59,460, maybe 58,500, maybe 57,400. If all those areas get lost, then yeah, actually at that point, probably would be looking for brand new lows on this one. But as much as that is a tempting position, and if I was at home, I'd probably do it, but I'm not. I'll be out and about, and at some points probably completely starved of Wi-Fi. And there's nothing worse than being in an open trade, even if you've got stop losses and take profits, with no Wi-Fi to monitor the situation. So, but yeah, I mean, the chances of a rejection here are most likely, and I think probably going to happen. The main question is, are we going to get supported above these moving averages, or are we going to break down lower and go down to new lows? Same thing really applies to Ethereum. Obviously, it's the 50 exponential getting rejection here. But again, when in doubt, zoom out. The most important thing would be to recognize that the weekly is bouncing from that 200 simple and exponential anyway. So that is a golden cross retest. So that is the opposite of a short. That is like a long-term epic position that hopefully will materialize into brand new all-time highs later on down the line. This is a weekly, remember, it's a weekly. And that just goes to the idea, it's not even an idea really, it's a trading setup, that the Bitcoin dominance chart is also at resistance, and an alt season is, well, it's a realistic possibility. I'm not going to say it's absolutely, definitely 100% going to happen. That would be naive to say that. But if it's going to happen, it can happen from this area. The dominance chart in a major box of significance, major resistance box. Anywhere between, well, the bottom of the box, which we saw a rejection from it more or less before, 57% dominance, all the way up to 58.5% dominance. These areas are real. These areas offer resistance. And remember, when at resistance, expect rejection, which is what's happening with Bitcoin right now. Probably, or there's a good chance it'll happen with the S&P, Ethereum again, and that's just short-term stuff. The higher term times it shows a different thing taking place, which is a major bounce on a golden cross on a weekly. And again, it's a weekly, okay? So by the time this video is finished, don't expect a full reversal to brand new all-time highs. It's a weekly, okay? Weekly charts, weekly setups can take months to fulfill the destination. And in this instance, you would expect the destination to have a V-shaped recovery to the most recent local high, 4,093. And then, if you're lucky, continuation, just as we saw the death cross retests recently on the dailies for all those altcoins, where we basically sort of bought the dip and sold into the death cross, and which led to this, well, continuation down. This is the opposite of that. It's a better setup. It's a weekly chart. This is what we want. We want these sort of setups. Don't get too caught up in the volatility on the day-to-day. When you have a setup that looks like this, if you bought altcoins or Ethereum, even just Ethereum, but if you bought Bitcoin, Ethereum or altcoins while this was happening, at the same time that this was happening, I think you should just basically go into hibernation at this point now for perhaps maybe a year, and then awake from your cryogenic status. It's very early, by the way. But awake from your hibernation this time next year and think about where it is that you're going to take your profit, because the chances are you should be significantly in profit a year from now after buying these lows. There's basically nothing more to say about these charts right now. So just long story short, in summary, currently at short-term time frame resistance, expect rejection. The higher term time frame for Ethereum, still bouncing from that major support, looks good long term. But from today, I would probably imagine that Bitcoin and Ethereum all pull back from this level. And the idea is that we hopefully will continue to remain above 57,000. Breaking down below 57,000, you might find a little stumbling block around 54.5, but you probably do find your way back down to new lows before another attempted bounce. And look, the world has black swans that circle not just this chart but all charts, to recognize that for what it is: resistance, rejection, short-term time frame, black swans, possibility. Higher term time frames, we're still in a very good position for something like Ethereum and altcoins, and probably even Bitcoin, to be fair. So the weekly is your best friend, the 4 hourly not so friendly, and the daily is neither here nor there. So it is really a battle between time frames. You know me, I always prefer a higher term time frame. That's why I'm so casual and relaxed when I trade, because I look at the bigger picture, and the bigger picture is one of good risk to reward long term. From spot positions, futures positions, probably today, if there was any position to take or have been taken already, it would have been that short from 62,000 for Bitcoin. And with altcoins, they will probably most likely fall with Bitcoin just through association, because Bitcoin is the head of the snake, the crypto snake. And if Bitcoin gets rejected, almost certainly going to see everything else come down just through association. But that doesn't mean a guaranteed new, local low. It does not mean that at all. It just means rejection, and then see if we can hold on those 4 hourlies. And if we don't, then we look for maybe a double bottom or lower. But until we see that, it's still an uptrend, and still a very serious scenario unfolding on something like for Ethereum, where new local highs and all-time highs could easily be generated after this. Well, you could even look at it like a capitulation. It's really good, let's face it. The short-term time frames don't get mixed up between the 4 hourly and the weekly. Two completely different setups, two completely different outcomes. So don't mix the two together. Remember, the trading environment, usually best thing to do is to check the weekly. The weekly is really good here. The 4 hourly Well, I mean, it's good for shorts, but hopefully you understand where I'm coming from here. I know that some people don't quite get it. The weekly offers major support, continuation to new local highs, the 4 hourly looking for rejection to come down and hopefully make a higher low. That's it. There's nothing more to say. It is also Friday, so recognize that for what it is. Traditional markets are going to be closing today, so there will be a battle. But I personally think that everything is looking pretty good. And until we lose that higher low structure, then yeah, we should continue to move up over the next few weeks, months, probably all the way up until next year, this time next year, generally speaking. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Feel free to join the Patreon, Telegram, and leave a comment. As long as it's nice. I don't like not nice comments. Most of the comments I get are bloody bots anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Right, thanks for watching. Take it easy.